Welcome to FGC Podcast. This is Slug.
This is Turk.
Welcome back to podcast number 2.
Dose.
How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty damn good.
That's what I like to hear. Hey, remember that one time that Kyle Shoulders took us to El Yucateca? Or what was it? The Mexican restaurant? Because he's like, you got to try burritos, Dos burritos. Dos burritos are the best. And when he asked the waitress, hey, what's in the Dos burrito? She looked at him like, what's wrong with you? It just means 2 burritos.
I do remember that. It was up on Peach Street in Erie. It was right by like Famous Dave's, right?
Yeah, yes, it was. Is it Aztec something?
I
think it was Aztec.
I'm not sure the name of it. We can consult with the fiance afterwards because that's her mother's favorite Mexican restaurant in Erie.
Right. I mean, it's just a good story. Shout out to Kyle Shoulders, doing great things in his life, and his beautiful wife, Carly Shoulders, and their beautiful baby. So, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Speaking of Mexican food, Gabriella and I went to dinner tonight with a friend and previous coworker and their family. We went to a Mexican restaurant here in Lincoln. I had some pastor nachos, and it was chef kiss. Good.
Oh, I had leftovers, and I mean, I made them, so of course I liked
it. What did you have for leftovers?
It was some crazy chicken concoction with mustard and cheese. Kind of something from Edinburgh. They used to have sandellas, and so they had this beautiful Brazilian mustard chicken and cheese and rice and broccoli, and I've been trying to recreate it for 10 years, and I'm not close, but I enjoy what I make.
I do remember that. That was in the place above Van Halen, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was above the cafeteria. A little bit more pricey on your flex dollars, but a lot better than the prison food they were serving you downstairs.
Yeah. So how are you? You asked me how I was doing. How you doing?
I'm doing good, but you know what? Something new that I'm noticing, and before I blamed it on age, but I think it's probably a little bit to do with the FGC lifestyle. Man, I hurt. I got a lot of aches and pains. I don't know about you, but like my hip, I got a little hip pain going all the time, my lower back. Now, I could be sitting in the wheelchair 16 hours a day. But after 30 years, I had no pains. And recently, I feel like my body is starting to tell me I need to slow down, which is a real shame because I don't go that fast to begin with.
Yeah, that's actually one of the motivators as to why I've been eating healthier and trying to lose weight is I've just kind of been noticing like when I've taken Kylo, my dog, on walks, we've just been like my feet will get sore or like I've always had bad knees. They hurt them in football, and then they just got worse and worse. And then a couple years ago, I remember when we had that 7 feet of snow, I took a little trip and did something to like my ACL or something. I don't know what it was. But since then, my knee's just been pretty rough. And so now when I try to go take Kylo on longer walks around campus, my knee starts to hurt right in that like outer side. And so that's one of the big motivators is to trying to lose this weight because I'm not going to want to have to get my knees replaced when I'm 40,
Respect. I mean, I also don't want to get my knees replaced when I'm 40. I understand the old football injuries, running and gunning. It was hard on this old body back in the day when I was a young buck.
I didn't even play football for very long. 1 year and I was hurt most of it. No, 2 years and I was hurt most of it. Yeah. I got my neck broke, Kurt Angle style. Ugh. Not really. I just got dropped on my head by a guy and had to go to the hospital. I had both my arms in a sling for 4 or 5 weeks, and then Rich Yerman, fellow fat guy, stepped on my ankle in a football scrum and couldn't walk for 6 months.
Knock on wood, I've never been seriously injured, and I'm so sorry to hear that a fellow fat man stepped on you and put you on the DL for a while.
Big Yerms. We were linemen doing lineman drills, and everyone like talked shit on me. They're like, "Oh, you're just faking an injury," and then I unwrapped my foot and showed them that it was like swollen and purple, and they're like, "Oh, okay, Yerms did some damage." I'm like, "Yeah, exactly." Oh. But yeah, so aches and pains, lots of them. Probably a huge aspect of, your body is carrying a crap ton of weight around it, and not your run of the mill average bear is not dealing with as much weight. So your body's
I
getting
get
like
you.
the wear and tear is significantly impacting your joints and all that kind of stuff. And that's really been a motivator and a reminder to me when I see something that I really want to eat that's unhealthy. I'm like, okay, I need to reel that back, or I'm going to have knee surgery when I'm 40.
You know what? Being big, living that sedentary lifestyle. Hashtag vocab. You guys are welcome. That's another word. Go look it up. This time we have, I'm going to have that Google dictionary open at all times so we can use big fancy words after last week's anecdote, antidote, antecedent fiasco.
I created my own word, and then we incorporated potions, and we've got some friends that are a lot more intelligent than us that were quite upset at our ignorance.
You know what? That's just part of our charm. We're not always right.
Yeah.
So it's good to know that I'm not the only one with the aches and pains. You're right. I appreciate that you are trying to get yourself in a better lifestyle. If that's what you want, I support that. I myself try, but I get about 3 days in before KFC puts out a commercial that says, we got hot donuts now. And I'm sitting here thinking, what am I supposed to do against some magic like that? Of course I want fried chicken and donuts. Or Pizza Hut puts out a pizza with a fried cheese stick on the crust. Like, I don't stand a chance. I got no motivation. I got no self-control in these moments of weakness.
Yeah, so the fiance is leaving this weekend to go visit a friend. And I've kind of got free reign on meal choices. And thankfully, she's taking the car with her, and the other car's out of commission right now, so I'm kind of campus bound. Or else KFC's donuts and donut sandwich would be in my future. I saw the commercial for it, and I was like, hook, line, and sinker. I was like, I want this.
KFC.
Also, I don't watch TV live unless it's sports for one reason. The commercials.
The commercials. That's so good.
Last night, fiance and I watching Dave, Lil Dicky's new TV show on FX. It's hilarious. Shout out.
I just heard about that today. I was watching him on Kimmel. I'm a big fan of Lil Dicky. I'm definitely going to give that show a watch.
Every other commercial, or every other break, food commercial. Pizza Hut's got this new pizza with mozzarella sticks on top.
You know what? I just said this. This is why I want to fight you, whether you're my best friend or not. I literally say something to you, and then 13 seconds later, you turked me. You literally just turked me in our podcast. I cannot stomach you sometimes, but I still love you.
How did I turk you?
I literally said Pizza Hut has a pizza with mozzarella sticks on it. How am I supposed to defend against that magic? And then you bring it up like it's your idea, not 2.5 minutes later.
I thought you were talking about KFC with donuts.
And then I mentioned Pizza Hut. Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen at home. Folks, right now it's just you and me. Turk's not here. I want you to know that if you have a friend out there that does not appreciate you, it's not their fault. Okay? It's not your fault. It's just life. And if you can find it in your heart to forgive them, then you are the bigger person and your love is true.
So there's a lot of people out there that say I'm a terrible person. I still don't know why. Like, I haven't figured it out. But you have some people in your team. I don't know if you've met my buddy Ian, but we play a lot of video games together. And there are times where he'll talk about lore or he'll read an article. And then about 15 minutes later, I'll turk him and I'll be like, hey, guys, did you hear about this thing? And he gets so mad. He's like, why do I even talk to you guys in chat? Like, we've been playing a lot of Apex now. And it's kind of like a Fortnite clone, but a lot better in my opinion. And there's a train that in the regular map kind of moves around the whole map and you can hop on it and get good gear. Well, in this new game mode, everything is stationary and static. It doesn't change at all. I think that's static. I don't know.
Yeah, sounds good enough.
Yeah, we'll have our smart friends and consult us and let us know if we're wrong in the future. But nothing changes in the map. Everything's the same. And he talked about it while we were playing. And then the next day I was like, hey guys, I found out where the train is. It's stationary in the north part of the map. And everyone just like audibly groaned at how I turked them. So I think I'm just the scumbag that really just doesn't pay attention when anybody else talks. It's got to be that I like the sound of my own voice.
No, hey, you know what? I'm just glad I'm not the only person on this island. And there's actually this one game called Apex. It's kind of like Fortnite. It's kind of like a clone, but there's this one new map, right? Yeah, how's it feel? It feels terrible. I'm sorry I had to do that to you.
So that's what it feels like to be Turk'd. Okay.
That's what it feels like to be Turk'd.
Are you going to turn this into like an actual word and everyone's just going to be, you just got Turk'd?
Listen, if it's Urban Dictionary, Webster's, whichever one will take it, yeah, sure.
All right, cool. I mean,
I'm looking for my 15 minutes of fame wherever I can get it.
I mean, I have an ego, and anything else, I mean, it doesn't necessarily need to be good things to boost it. I'll take the bad stuff too.
You know what? Famous, infamous, it doesn't matter as long as someone remembers the name.
Fame is fame.
That's probably a rap song somewhere.
Yeah. So what's new with you, man? Anything going on?
I wish just living the best life that I can, dealing with finances, which is everyone's favorite thing, being a volunteer tax preparer. So I do that through the United Way, get some crazy stories. Maybe one day I'll share them with you if I'm feeling up to it. I'll obviously redact all names. Everything's confidential, but when you're doing taxes, you hear so many fun stories.
I have a family CPA, so don't get to experience that lifestyle.
Well, thank that CPA, because I'm telling you, doing taxes is not easy.
I'm sure if I had a normal lifestyle where most stuff wasn't included in my salary, that my CPA would hate me. But since it's kind of just one blanket check and I don't have a lot of extra stuff, it's not too bad.
You're that easy check, baby. Everybody needs that easy part of their day. And when they see you on the docket, they know it's going to be all right.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out Dom. Beautiful man. Not sponsored.
Not sponsored. Not sponsored by him.
Yeah. So
go
ahead.
Yeah, what do we got? We have right now, for the rest of the show, we are going to be doing what we do best. We're going to certify some stuff, FGC.
Yeah, and then we're going to talk about, we got a winner. Listen, when I put it out there that we needed to comment, and share, and just let's get a few more likes before we release the podcast, I did not anticipate the support that we got, and I just really, really want to just let everybody know that listens to this that what you do means the world to me. It's just a passion project, just to give me an excuse to talk to one of my best friends. And the fact that when I said that post and posted that post within it was 4 hours, we already had the likes that I needed and wanted, the goal. And it absolutely blows me away that we have the kind of support, because we've almost tripled that goal. We're close to 450, maybe closer to 500 likes than it absolutely blows my mind. So I just want to thank everybody for that. And a little bit later on in the pod, we'll announce the winner from that contest.
I don't appreciate anyone until I'm YouTube famous.
You just want to be YouTube famous? Is that
obviously? Or I'll settle for TikTok famous, okay? I'll be one of those people that are on the scum of everyone's shoe bottom. I will be TikTok famous. I'm just kidding. I have so much love and support to give to every friend, family member, colleague, or just plain acquaintance or stranger that clicked on a link that was shared by somebody, or who was tuning into one of the random podcasts that they can listen to on Anchor or Google or iTunes, wherever we're being listened to. And Spotify.
Yeah, so we're on 5 different
streaming platforms
right now. We were on 6, but one of them got redacted. We didn't.
How did we get redacted?
We did not pass the review process because fat is considered hate speech, and
that's going to be problematic for our demographic.
Yeah, and so I feel like that's a future podcast conversation on just fat and hate speech and bullying and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so we were removed from one of the streaming platforms because fat is considered hate speech, and in our image and in our podcast name, we utilize the word fat.
Well, sometimes you learn, okay? Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Now we know that fat's a bad word, and we should be ashamed of ourselves.
Yeah. And then we're still kind of pending on iTunes. We're still getting reviewed on there. But we haven't really promoted it too much, but we've got a YouTube channel now, and so we'll be able to we'll cut this and put this on the YouTube. So for people that might be a little bit technologically less savvy, they can, everyone just can click a link and listen as opposed to navigating different podcast mediums and stuff.
And you know what? I mean, you're right, but maybe people just don't want to download a new app. Maybe their phone's really, really at max capacity, and maybe they're just on an internet browser. YouTube's real quick, simple, and maybe we'll be able to put our picture up so you can look at our beautiful faces while you listen to us.
We might move on into the world of recording and doing some visuals. Yeah, I can't tap out the fiance too much. She's a busy lady with a job, and right now she's working pro bono.
That makes a lot of sense. Maybe I'll take up a new hobby and I'll try to figure it out. Who knows? Maybe I'll be able to put a little Photoshop in there, give us little cute hats and weird effects.
Just like animate us. They just like stick figure animate. They do on YouTube videos. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah. So don't count us out yet, folks. Just keep enjoying the sultry sounds of our voices.
Is that your 2020 goal?
2023. Let's give me 3 years.
2023. Okay.
Remember, best nation, procrastination.
There you go. So, I think that it's probably time that we get into our bread and butter and do a little bit of certification, don't you?
I think it is. Do we have to do any kind of breaks before we go?
Yeah. So, we have a sponsor.
What?
Yeah, it's pretty rad. And you're going to hear that now. And then as soon as we come back from that ad break, we'll get into reviewing our first restaurant.
Our first stop on the FGC certified train of greatness. Patent pending. Welcome back to the FGC podcast, and thank you again to our sponsor. So, Turk, it's the moment that we've been waiting for. It's the moment that a lot of our fans have been waiting for. We're finally going to certify some stuff. This is what you created it for. This is the whole brainchild. It comes down to this. You want to know, is something Fat Guy certified? And up first on our list of things to certify is one of my personal favorite places to visit when I'm in the little smoky town of Edinburgh, Pennsylvania, and that's the Empty Keg.
Woo!
Yeah, good pop. That's a nice little cheap pop.
Maybe I'll toss in some cheer audio of like a crowd like clapping and screaming there, just to add a little bit of flair.
How much do you enjoy the keg? Let's go scale of 0 to 10. 0 means you're never going back, even if someone says, I'll buy you lunch.
So we're just dropping this number
Yeah, this has nothing to do with our certification. This is just between you and me. How much of a fan are you already of the keg? So we can already address the bias that some people may accuse us of.
That's true. We're coming in with a lot of bias. There's a lot of history. We'd go to this place pretty frequently during grad school, just hang out after class. We would just go get some wings and some yings,
But certainly.
I would say that it is my... this is going to be tough. I would give it a 7.
A 7? Okay, that's fair. That's very fair. I might go, if we're allowed to break it in half, 7.5 on a bad day, 8.5 on a good day.
Okay. It's a very towny bar. Out of all of them, I would say the Keg has the best towny vibe. Do you agree or disagree?
I can definitely agree with that, because the stories I heard from the old timers that said when they were young, they would straight be told, we're not serving you. Or, in fact, they never heard that from a barkeep. They heard that from the patrons that said, he's not serving you. You're not a local, or you're not one of the faves. Just get out now.
Okay.
And after 45 minutes, they literally did not serve that person, and they left.
Okay. So
now, granted, that's like 50 years ago. Much different environment once we were of age to drink there.
So on our certified scale, we've got 5 categories. F, AA, C. Okay?
I love it.
We've got food quality. We've got the regular Fat Guy certified. We've got aesthetic, accessibility, and customer service. So double F, double A, C. I think the first one we need to go with is food quality.
Exactly. And when you're reviewing a place, we're going to do bunches and bunches of certifications. When we're certifying an establishment that serves food, you got to put the quality of the food on the table to be measured. And I want to just talk about biases real quick. Yes, I might like the keg, but I would fail my own mother if I had to because she didn't earn the grade, okay? So I want to be calling it right down the middle. I am not a biased person. I might like things, but I will fire my best friend if I have to.
Okay.
Just kidding. I wouldn't do that. I would not do that.
Totally noted. I am an individual that is fully influenced by bias. So I'm just going to admit that now. So we'll see.
That's okay.
But also, just for our listeners, that we haven't discussed this at all. So we are going to either be in agreement or we're going to strongly disagree with each other. And it's going to be pretty fun to see the difference in our opinions. So food quality. It's 1 to 5. That's how we've done it on the blog. So I think that we should just kind of continue that.
Going. Are we allowed to break it down into halves?
On tricky, sticky situations, but I think a solid 1 through 5 is the way to go.
Okay,
full integer. Okay. I'm gonna ask you to go first on food quality.
All right, food quality. Just saying right now, like I said, no bias. Keg's not my favorite place to eat, food-wise, in the town of Edinburgh. Favorite place to visit, completely different, but best food in town.
Okay.
On food quality alone, I'm going with a 3.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I'm at the same place.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so as much bias as we have, we're both agreeing that the Keg, for being one of my favorite spots, food is right in the middle of the road.
Yeah. I mean, it's great. You want a greasy spoon to go to in Edinburgh. You go there, you get their wings, you get their deep fried stuff. It's okay.
Yeah. Best burger in town. Best burger you're going to get in town, besides McDonald's. Just kidding. That's not even a real burger. It's at the Keg. But it's that standard bar food.
You're not going to walk out of there feeling disappointed. But if you go in there and you want to get a salad, you're just going to get like a wedged bag of lettuce with like some meat on it and like your average like cheese. But it's good.
100%. Yes, exactly. And they even have a salad. But like you said, I just went there recently, got a salad. My friend got a salad, actually. It had like drill bit potatoes on it. Looked like something you'd pop into your power drill if you're installing a deck on your porch, something like that. And I don't even know what it was, but it wasn't really salad material. But then again, she went to a bar looking for a salad. I don't know what you expected. My deep fried chicken bites and my French fries were off the chart.
Yeah. If you're going to go to the Keg, you're going to go for like 5 things. Pizza rolls. A burger.
Now, you keep calling pizza rolls. Are you meaning the pizza logs?
Pizza log. Sorry.
Now, for people that don't know, a pizza log, different than what we talked about last week. The pizza log is an egg roll wrapper that's deep fried, and it is stuffed with cheese, pepperoni, and a smidgen spread of sauce. That will change your life. I took one of my earliest best friends, Michelle Nadzeski, now Michelle Fetter, to a place in Edinburgh and gave her pizza logs for the first time. She told me after that I almost ruined her because no place in Pittsburgh, not a lot of places, especially now in Connecticut, no such thing as a pizza log.
I don't think it's out of Western Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so I think it's like a Northwestern Pennsylvania thing.
I don't know. It's stuck in that area and it's amazing. So you're going there for 5 things. You're going there for wingdings, wings, burger, fries, pizza logs.
Exactly.
I don't think I've eaten anything from there other than those 5 things.
Yeah, right. I know I haven't. I know I've only ever had their popcorn chicken and their wings if I was feeling like I'm okay with wearing the dinner I'm eating tonight. Mm-hmm. But it's the burger, the popcorn chicken, or the pizza logs.
Yeah. So let's move into our first A, aesthetic. Okay. I made you go first. So I'll go first on this one. And I'm going to be honest with you. As far as the aesthetics go, I think it's probably not the best of the bars in Edinburgh. You've got, and we'll go into more than accessibility, but like you've got one door in for most people. You've got like old tables, old chairs, tiny bathroom, some very so Edinburgh is an art school, and it's a towny bar, and a lot of art students will go to the Keg, and a lot of towny people go to the Keg. So sometimes, depending on where you're sitting, it's gonna smell real bad because of someone bringing in their body odor. And as a smell guy, that's important to me. And it's not the Keg's fault, I guess. Maybe they're accepting of that clientele. But sometimes you sit down, you're going to want to smell some food, and you smell some dude's BO. So,
or you get that patchouli. You know, I don't need to smell patchouli because you're sitting there drinking a pint writing your term paper. Some people do that in a bar, you know, to study and write. That's great. But it's definitely that artsy, it's that hipster vibe when you go to the Keg some days.
So I'm gonna give it a 3. I'm gonna give it a 3 again.
And you know what? Because I can't defend it. When it comes down to, I'm thinking, how can I get it above a 3? Again, aesthetics, I think it is average. It's an average bar. Now, I will admit, if we were getting sticky, I'd give it a 3.5 after it's been renovated. Over the last couple of years, they kind of opened it up a little bit. So now they have that extra area with the high guy tables where you can kind of sit on the high bar stools. And so the bar is a little bit more open now that there's 5 extra tables. Before, I think maybe 5 tables in the entire bar. When I was in an undergrad program at Edinburgh University, easily only 5 tables in the whole entire establishment. Now they're probably up to 10. That's done wonders. Let's go right down the middle. It's just a dingy bar like every other bar in Edinburgh. I would not say that it's better or worse than any bar. I think all bars in the town of Edinburgh, Pennsylvania, all are a 3 when it comes to aesthetics. None of them knock my socks off. They all look dark, dingy, creaky, woody, sticky floors.
I will agree to disagree on that one, but that'll be future episodes.
Okay. I can't wait to hear what you think looks better than the Keg.
100% the hotel, but we'll talk more.
We're going to talk. We're definitely going to talk about that.
Willie's too. I think they're both better. But customer service. Now, this is an establishment that back in the day, if you weren't a townie, they wouldn't let you in. This is an establishment where I recall being insulted, although a little flirty, by the bartenders at the bar. So what do you think about customer service?
I'm going first on this one before you put your foot in your mouth and you ruin the greatest thing at Edinburgh University in Edinburgh, Pennsylvania. The Keg has some of the best customer service I've ever had in my entire life. With that being said, somebody just ordered a salad. It may have been a buffalo chicken salad, and it may have come with 0 buffalo. However, this is a place that one time a good friend and of mine, we went out to watch the Pens game. It was a blizzard. When we showed up, it was like we were abominable snowmen. And we were covered from head to toe. You couldn't see our jerseys anymore. It was wing night. The place was packed. People are playing pool. The owner, shout out to Mark. He used to own the place. I'm not sure who the current owner is. Mark saw us, looked around. He walked over and knocked every pool ball off that table and said, "You guys are done," and threw the tarp over top of it and sat it up for us, me and my friend, to eat right there and then. Great customer service. I rolled in one time. My good friends were having a few too many. When I showed up, he said, "Whose tab is this on?" I said, "No, I got it." He looked around, found the drunkest friend, and said, "Yeah, no, Steve's got this one." Shout out to Steve Gruzlovic for picking up my beer all those years ago, even though he probably didn't know. The customer service at the Keg is far better than anything else you can get in the town of Edinburgh. I'm giving them a 5.
Okay. As you've rekindled and you've brought the fire of my brain back to life, I can recall having some of the best customer service there. I can't remember her name, but we had one waitress that knew our order every single time we would come in for wings after and during grad school, and she was always just like super sassy to like everybody else, but to us she was a sweetheart. I can see her face, but I can't remember her name. So,
exactly. She gave you more sass, gave me more flirt. I'm okay with that. She's getting a 5.
I think it was the other way around, but
you're crazy full of stuff.
I'm gonna give it a 4. I'll give it a 4 because there's been some times where you've gone and it hasn't been like that one waitress or that one person, and they've just been like kind of just dismissive. But that could, I mean, people have bad
No,
days.
you're right. No, it's understandable. You in your world, you're not allowed to have second chances or bad days. It's fine. We know what kind of person you are, Turk. You cut your friends off. You repeat things that they just said to you, and you don't give anybody any bad days. It's good to know. You give them a 4, I give them the 5.
I might have to label this episode "You've Been Turked." I don't
Oh,
know.
I like it. Put it up there.
So I'm gonna leave this one to you. I'll comment on it from a outsider standpoint, but accessibility. What does the K get?
Right now, guys, just imagine that I pulled the chair away from the table, spun it around, threw my leg over, and I'm sitting on it backwards, kind of like the cool dad or the cool teacher, cool substitute.
Okay, I'm visualizing this. I've got my eyes closed.
The empty keg. Let's have a conversation, bud. Pull up a chair. I love you. You're doing the best you can. I understand that. When it comes to accessibility, you've made great strides. Like I mentioned before, saw the 2 guys in a wheelchair come in, no place for them to sit. Instead of saying too bad, so sad, which the hotel has done plenty of times. Can't wait to get to that one.
Okay.
It's still not the most accessible. The keg is the only place that is not accessible from its front door. As you mentioned before, there's really only one entrance. If you are in a wheelchair, you got to come through the back. And I always feel a little funny when I got to go through the back entrance. I always feel some sort of way, but I accept it. That's the life that I was dealt when I was born, when I chose to be born with a physical disability.
Yeah, and I want to interject a little bit. You're also in a community in an area where the weather is extremely bad for like a solid 4 or 5 months. And the only way to the back of that area is you have to go through an alley or you have to drive and park in the parking lot in the back. And that alley
100%.
it's not plowed or anything like that. It becomes a sheet of ice. And so for anybody that is mobility impaired, for them having to go through that alley is dangerous. Because if it's late at night or whatever and you get stuck and you don't have somebody that's there to help you move or maneuver around or whatever, it's difficult terrain. And I've seen it happen. I've seen people get stuck in that alley and not be able to get around, and so that's not their fault for the alley but it's their fault that they don't have a ramp in the front.
I agree. Now, I don't know zoning commissions. I don't know the rules. I don't know all the permits you need. I don't know how far it'd have to go out into Main Street for it to be legal up front. But you're right. Going into the back, very difficult. However, lately, like back in the day, okay, the keg, the back door, it was super unfortunate because there was a back kind of screen. It was like they built like a mini area, like a mini, I can't even think, like a foyer area, kind of just little step inside. Almost looks like it would be a bus stop if you saw it on the side of the street over the back door. So there's a mini screen door that you had to hold open. Then you had to get inside this little bus stop and then open the heavy door inside. Meanwhile, there's no ramp, or there's a ramp, but there's a big old drop off at the end of it. And it's only like a 4-inch step up. But this ramp was steep, so you'd hit it like a son of a gun. It would kick you. I'd drop my phone every time I took the bump, or I'd fall almost out of my chair. My friends have definitely slouched out of the chair hitting them before and gotten pretty unsafe. Mm-hmm. And it's real hard when you're in a wheelchair and you got no room to maneuver and you have to get through 2 doors. So that was unfortunate. But they have since removed the outside door and they made a better ramp. Just being there about 2 weeks ago. So it is much easier. In fact, I can say that I have no problem getting in anymore. And now that it's been opened up with those 4 extra tables, it has really, really become a lot less hectic inside. I would hate to be there on a busy night. I really would. So with that being said, I'd say originally they were 1, but because they've tried to make some changes, I'm going to give them a 2 out of 5 on the accessibility. And it kills me. Remember, guys, I can put away my bias. The place that I love, my favorite place in town, gets a 2 out of 5, less than average on the accessibility score.
Okay. It's very interesting and to hear you say that. Okay. I fully support it and embrace it.
If you're able to read between the lines, it just means I hate the other places in Edinburgh and they're trash. But again, we'll get to those in the future.
I strongly disagree, but we will discuss that. So I guess the next one would be Fat Guy Certified, and this factors in all sorts of things. One thing that we didn't really talk about is the bathrooms. I know that you would not be able to access them, and I honestly can't remember to give you a good enough opinion on what they look like. I know that they have confusing names on the front, sitters and pointers, or setters and pointers, which is
Well, setters is a female Turk because they have to sit down when they go to the bathroom.
yeah, I get that. I know that,
Okay.
but it's still. I mean, you could just have
Do you
male
want me
and
to describe
female,
what pointers?
or you know
Do
what?
you need that? Okay.
I'm about to Turk you again. But yeah. So the review is not really going to have that kind of factored into it. But we've talked about space. It obviously gets a Fat Guy Certified just on the customer service and the food. There's some things there that you go specifically there for that aren't as good elsewhere in town. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, best food. If I want a good meal, I'm going to the Keg.
Okay.
That's where I'm going to go. And there's other. And have you ever felt uncomfortable in the chairs?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll say and that's just because it's aesthetically a rustic kind of vibe. It's not modern. Last time I was there, so it's been probably a year since I was there. Last time I was there was probably in the summer last year, not this year. Well, summer 2018, not summer 2019.
Yeah, I get you.
So, yeah, the chairs are lower to the ground, older, not as like they're not really strong. There is there is a slight apprehension in that if I sit down on an older one or one that might not have that's seen some wear and tear, that I will break the back of it and my ass will be touching the ground.
Okay.
And then sometimes if it's super packed there's not a lot of elbow room. I definitely feel like I'm inconveniencing some of the other people around me. Sometimes that's all in your head, but definitely, like if it's a packed place and you need to sit in one of the tables that are closer together, you do kind of feel like an inconvenience as a bigger person.
Hey, man, listen. I already said I can go right down the middle. I think we know what we have to say about the Empty Keg.
Okay, go ahead and say it.
Okay. I will say because I am brave enough to do what you are not. I will take this because I am your good friend. I will allow the world to hate on me and protect you from that. Empty Keg, I love you, but you are not Fat Guy certified.
Denied.
I need some sound effects there, and I mean weeping sounds, because it breaks my heart to say it. Okay, but we all have that. Like, it's a toxic relationship sometimes. You know it's bad for you, but man, you just love them so much when they look at you that way. When that waitress is flirting and the pizza logs are coming out crisp and juicy and there's laughter going on, it's a great place to be. But if you try to go in there when it's crowded, when it's a popular night, when it's snowy outside, which is half the year in Edinburgh, it's not a good fit. You're right. I don't even know what the bathrooms look like because I physically can't even get through the door of the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I can't even come through the front street. Once I'm in, I'm locked in. I can't get in on my own. I can't get out on my own.
Yeah.
Really not a big fan of any restaurant or establishment that I can't get into on my own.
So I'm sure that waitress that we loved isn't there anymore. I don't think Mark owns it anymore. So you're really only going to the Keg for 5 things: the best burger in town, delicious popcorn chicken, pizza logs, and some steak fries.
There you have it.
They've been certified. Well, not certified.
They've been deemed not certified.
Yeah.
You have failed this city, Empty Keg.
So that's unfortunate that our first official FGC is not getting the stamp, but that's how we roll here. If you're not meeting the criteria and you're not getting where we need to go, we're gonna play it like it is and tell you how it is.
Listen, that's why you got to listen in. You got to tune in every time we have one of these podcasts, ladies and gentlemen. You never know what we're going to say. You never know how we're going to roll the dice. You never know how we're going to roll at the end.
Because I bet you a large portion of our friend group that we spent a lot of time with would go into this thinking that we were going to knock that out of the park and give them everything.
Most certainly. And you know what? Why would every time I watch a TV show anymore, or not a TV show, I'm sorry, a reality show, if it's a game show, that's what I'm searching for. It's like the first episode, everyone always wins. Why would I ever tune in? I know the first time's always going to be a winner. I like those rare little gems that you find on the internet or whenever you find something new on Netflix and you're like, oh, I bet I know how this is going to end. What? Swerve? So that's what we're doing here. We're swerving people.
For sure. So, that's that. We're going to, I think it's probably, is now the time to announce, or are we going to wait to announce what happens if an establishment gets Fat Guy certified?
You know, let's hold off on it because Keg, sorry you didn't earn it this time, bud.
Yeah.
Come back next year. We could always, if we hear that there's some great new things happening, one of us will go and give it another review. We'll give it a scope. But right now, you just don't make the cut. So let's wait until we actually get a place that does make the cut and gets that stamp of approval as a Fat Guy certified establishment or product. Okay. And then we'll release what's going to happen.
Okay. So what we can release, though, is we've got a winner.
I'm excited, folks. We have a winner for the like, share, comment extravaganza.
We challenged you to like, share, and comment a post to promote our page, and you delivered. And we used a third-party program that factored all of that in and chose a winner. And I would like you to do the honor, good sir, Mr. Slug yourself.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the contest, Thor Banks.
Insert crowd cheering
you can't
sound.
Even make that name up. That's a heck of a name right there. So
one of the coolest names. When the generator pulled that up, I was like, "That's a fake person. That's not a real. That's not a real human. That's a real person, right?"
That is, in fact, a real person that I met at a conference about a year ago. So I think it's really interesting to see that it's the connections we've been making. This podcast is reaching ears that I never thought it would reach. I thought my mom, a couple friends, that would be it. You know, your fiance's family, maybe they would listen. But it's starting to reach out, and I'm hoping that it keeps growing. So congratulations, Thor. You'll receive a gift card to Nat's Pizza, which is a local establishment in your area. After doing extensive research, we found that there's just nothing but delicious food, good portions, and cheap prices from what we can find. And that's what Fat Guy Certified is all about. So we'll be contacting you so we can get you your gift card for Nat's Pizza. Thank you again, Thor, for listening. Hopefully you're listening. If not, just keep liking and sharing and commenting on everything that we post because we really need it when we're this young.
We appreciate every like, share, comment. Hey, we've seen some people tagging friends on Facebook and saying, hey, listen to this when you're bored. That means the world to us as just a passion project, the two guys spending time together. I'm really, really appreciative of all the likes and good feedback that we've been getting. So,
fantastic.
Mr. Slug,
I think we're going to wrap it up.
I think it's time for some final thoughts. What do you, is there anything on your palate that you need to share? Anything on that big frontal lobe of yours that you're just waiting to get out?
You know what? Just the one thing I've been thinking about over the last 2 weeks since, actually maybe even 3 or 4 weeks since I first found out from you and your fiance that we were going to be doing this thing, that this is coming, it made me happy. We're not making any money off of this. Currently, I'm not making much money anywhere. But I'm happy. So I want everyone who takes the time to listen to this, and for everyone who makes it this deep into the podcast, I want you to try your best to be happy. If it's making more money, go for that promotion. If it's quitting your job, say sayonara. But try to find something that makes you happy at least once a day. The thing that got me through working in the mental health field, some days would just be knowing I'm going to go home and watch an episode of NCIS that I really like. Or that I got a really cool meal in the crock pot. That's kind of the fat guy certified lifestyle. But really, it's the small things that make you happy, and you have to find them. If you're living for a weekend and then the weekend comes and you feel like you've wasted your time, then that's no way to be living. And it's okay if you have mental health. It's okay if you have stress and anxiety. We're here for that. We get that. We understand it. We will help you if you want. Your friends can help you. But you got to find some happiness somewhere. So please do something that makes you happy at least once a day. And then like, share, comment, tell us what you do. Put in the comments below if you can find some sort of way, maybe following us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you do to be happy. We'll tell you what we do to be happy. And then maybe we can have a happy party someday.
That was absolutely beautiful, Slug.
It was not beautiful, but it gets the job across. I want everyone to try their best to be happy.
No, I sincerely tell you and mean this, that was absolutely beautiful. We just went to church. It was the Church of Slug, and I am blown away by what you just said.
I hope I get a tax break.
I mean, you need to get it ordained anyway, so...
it's coming. It's coming.
That's a future goal. Make sure that you check us out. This will be released on Monday. Fat Guy Certified every Monday on all the podcast platforms, YouTube. We appreciate you. And now we're going to use some free hack music to sign off.
Play us out. Wow, this is Slug.
This is Turk.
Bye-bye.